Today we're going to discuss why Jewish men wear Kippa and Tzitzit. The Shulchan Aruch, the Code of Jewish Law, says that one wears a Kippa out of Kavod HaShekhinah, which means honor for the divine presence. What this means is that very often in our lives we're running around occupying ourselves with physical, material pursuits which can be very important. But we also need a reminder that there are certain things which are more important. When we wear a kippah on our heads, we're reminded that there is something above us. Not physically above us, but greater. Something greater than just this physical world. We're reminded of values, of what really matters, of right and wrong. And ultimately, we're reminded of God. When Jewish men wear a kippah, during learning and praying, but even as they go around their daily business, they are reminded there is something greater. There is something in the world called God, for whom we have to have the utmost respect. Tzitzit actually takes us to the next stage. Wearing a kippah isn't mentioned anywhere in the Torah, but wearing tzitzit is actually a biblical command. It's mentioned twice. In one area where it's mentioned, we read it every day in the Shema. But there is a reason hinted at in the Shema, in the Torah, for why we wear tzitzit. It says, "Uretem oto," when you see the tzitzit, "Uzachartem," you will remember the commandments of God. The purpose of the tzitzit are to remind us that not only that God exists and that there is an ultimate meaning in the world, but that has repercussions for how I must behave. I must ensure to fulfill my responsibilities. I mustn't act inappropriately. We're all aware of these things, and yet often it stays at the back of our minds. The purpose of the tzitzit is that when one sees the tzitzit, one is reminded there's a certain standard of behavior. I'm called upon to act in a particular way. The tzitzit are the reminders of these duties.